And there's the first loss. And there's reality. Damn it. Damn it. I thought we were going to go 22-0. What a shame. The Blues go down in round 4 to the Gold Coast Suns. 8 goals, 14-62. To the Suns, 13-14-92. In a match where I think it's safe to say we got exactly what we deserved. And got beaten up and just soundly beaten across the 4 quarters by a Suns team who were there all game, wanted it, were hungry, and, full credit to them. I don't think it was a situation where we were unlucky or anything like that. I think all the pain that was inflicted on us on the scoreboard was a result of just not winning key contests, and here we are, 3-1. It was a very interesting day, I must say. I was really calm throughout. I was pretty confident that we were going to win the game. That's the truth. Said it earlier in the week. I felt like our midfield, obviously at our best, or our team at our best, would be enough to beat them today. But the reality was that we were not at our best. And even when Cripps went down at quarter time, which was a real shock and a real shame, even when that happened, I was still pretty confident that we had plenty of pieces there to step up, because they had been stepping up over the last few weeks, albeit Cripps has been in scintillating form for the first 3 games as well. So I thought, Kennedy, who's had a fantastic season, I thought he was there, he would step up. I thought Chera as well, Hewitt. And then you got Sam Walsh there as well, his 3rd game back, and he spoke about being a little rusty and not at his best earlier this week, and so I just figured that we would be able to step up, but the reality was we weren't. I think apart from the first 5-6 minutes, it was just all Gold Coast. And then when we did get our momentum swing in our favour, we just weren't able to capitalise. But I want to go back before I go forward, because the day started with the Carlton reserves. We had a double header, and it was just so refreshing to hear Paul Sebastiani's commentary for the Carlton reserves game, and to watch our Carlton reserves play, and to see Liam Stocker, 2nd game back, and playing really well, to see Paddy Dow doing his thing, Sam Philp. It just seemed like we were set up for a great day. The reserves have been playing well this season. They're on top of the ladder. And I guess I just thought it would continue on, and I thought the good vibes were there, and it would be a good day all around. But it wasn't to be. I'm not devastated, and I don't know whether it's because I'm just taking things at a high level approach. I've always reminded where we've come from and what we're trying to be, and I'm also very well aware, and I have been very well aware, that this was coming, whether it was this week or next week or the week after. I think once we won the 3 in a row, I felt like, all right, we've never been more closer to our first loss than what we were, this morning and eventually this evening. So, not to excuse what happened, obviously it's disappointing. I'm just not panicking just yet, and I think that's a part of why it's important to start the season well, because you're going to have shortcomings that come up throughout the season, and not only in footy, but in life as well. You fall short. It's very difficult, this sport. This league is extremely difficult to get up constantly, week after week. And I just felt like overall, we can talk about individuals, we can talk about patches of the game where we lost it. I think overall, the energy just wasn't the same. The same hunt mentality wasn't there. If anything, we were hunted today. And the Suns were relentless. The stats are really interesting, because we almost doubled them in tackles, and that's probably due to the fact that we were second to the ball. But we laid, the 67 tackles, the hit-outs. We were absolutely slaughtered today. There's no other way to put it. We were significantly beaten in the ruck department today. 52 hit-outs to 19. The contested possessions was something that we lost pretty badly in the first quarter, but in the end it was 142 to 129, so not a total disaster. And then the clearances soundly beaten, 43 to 27. And those are those sort of key indicators of the Michael Voss style that we've seen a lot better over the course of the last 3 rounds, and even in that pre-season. So, it just makes sense we lost today. When you look at the stats and you look at the way we played, of course, it makes sense. I just don't think there's an underlying issue and panic. And this is where I really am interested to see. And I never want to say like I wanted us to lose. You never want to lose. But now that we have lost, and I knew that we would lose eventually, I'm so excited to see how this group really has evolved. Because it's all good. You start the season well. There's emotional storylines everywhere. New coach, new group, new direction. Everyone's had a fresh slate. Guys have come back in ripping nick. Sam Doherty, obviously a big emotional draw card as well. Just things going our way. We get the first win. We get the second win. We sneak over the line for the third win. So it was coming. And now that it's here, the real test of this group and not just the playing group, but the coaching group, the coaching staff, like it's on. The season officially begins the way I see it. And I'm so curious to know what it's like being on the inside coaching. And that's the challenge for Vossi and the group now, because up until now, we haven't really reviewed a loss. And I know I've heard Michael Voss talk about we want to try and make sure that whether we win or we lose, we still bring that same approach to critiquing games. But I don't know. I wonder if it's inevitable that reviewing a loss and reviewing a win just has to be different. And this is where buttons are pushed, and this is where challenges are made to certain individuals in certain roles that they did or didn't fulfill. And I'm pretty excited to see what that's going to be like next week. The first 5-6 minutes of the Port Adelaide game, I'm just pumped to see what we're going to do against a side who you cannot underrate. And the thing is, you can't underrate any side. I don't know where the idea comes from that we just should be beating Gold Coast today by 10 goals. If we're the real deal. I don't know. I just know that we're not there yet. I sensed that apart from the energy which was lacking today, which wasn't the same as what I've seen over the last few weeks. Losing Cripps obviously hurt. And then, to see Pito down as well, I think I realised, and I always did realise how important he was. And I'm just mindful of, having Tom in the ruck position solo for 4 quarters. I'm looking down at the list, like what have we got there? I'm not panicking just yet, but the ruck situation when Pito's down just looks a little bit more grim than if it were Tom that was down. We know that Tom missed a few games last year as well. And this is just part of the development for Tom, which is great. I think he'll take a lot from today and get better for it. He's a great character, and a lot of them are going to be good for it today. And, it was good to see who stood up when things didn't go our way. And I'll tell you one guy, and this is the guy that I gave the player of the game to. I tossed up between, dare I say it, our 2 recruits from last year. I thought Sard and Zach Williams were our best players, followed pretty closely. Doherty was in there. George Hewitt was in there. I thought Jack Silvani, even Nick Newman as well. But I loved Zach Williams' game. I loved, I know it's a loss and I don't want to be talking and glossing over it, but to see him stand up and kick the ball the way he did under the pressure that he was under and that backline was under was something I will take forward, knowing, when the heat is on, I can trust them a little bit more. And I just, think he needs to be singled out specifically because he's been fantastic this season. He's really building and getting better, and that was the best game he's played for the club. But this for me is all about licking the wounds and coming back to reality a little bit, and the reality of, we're going to lose games and the inconsistencies are there, and we just didn't pay the price for our inconsistencies over the course of the last few weeks in terms of wins and losses. We had the inconsistencies. I think we all saw them for what they were. We have a great first quarter against Hawthorn and then fall away. The Doggies as well, it was sort of a half a footy and then fall away a bit. And so, we've got to try and iron them out and take steps forward. We need to stop losing players. I think we're starting to get to that point now where we're at that tipping point of our depth and we're really going to be tested now. I thought, those half-back flank types for us were good, but I thought, I didn't think we got as much from Wiedering as what we would have liked. I think even our forwards as well. Just a lack of focus today. I saw a lot of the snaps around the body, and I don't know if I can correlate that to lack of focus, but Charlie Kerner a few times seemed to just be rushing it. Even Harry Mackay rushed it a bit as well. I read into that a little bit as to thinking they weren't willing to just go back and make sure, and even if you're going to snap the ball around the body, didn't give themselves enough time. And you get found out really quickly. If you're 5 or 6% off, you get found out really quick. And fair play to the Suns. it is what it is. It's not a panic loss. It is a loss. Is it a devastatingly horrific loss? I don't think so. It's just a loss. I think that's probably what happens when you've lived through what I've lived through and seen how devastatingly bad it can be. But I still did see, effort indicators and all of that stuff. I didn't see... I think that the core word that we were lacking today was the execution. Just what we were seeing in the first few weeks to today was so different. We seem to have gone back into that mentality of under pressure, what am I doing? I'm kicking it as long as I can and getting it out of my area, as opposed to working our way through the pressure. And I didn't see much of that surging mentality that we've been seeing when we go forward. The handball chains with the overlap runners and looking to get that extra handball to give ourselves time and space. And that's probably due to a couple of things, our energy and then the Suns' application to the task at hand. So it's a loss. We'll move on. I will not be panicking unless I see a similar energy next week against Port Adelaide, because I think I'm pretty confident. I think this is a really weird situation to be in for me in terms of it's different. Yeah, we've lost and it's disappointing, but I have such faith in who we've got there at the club to fix it and get it right and talk to whoever needs to be spoken to in the way that they need to be spoken to. And that confidence allows me to just relax for now, and I just have faith in the direction that is being applied to the players. Now, today, it didn't work, and that's obvious, but I'm really looking forward to seeing how we respond to today's shortcomings. So that's how I saw it. As I said, Zach Williams was my player of the game. I was really, really proud of him and happy for him to be playing like that, working hard and using the ball really well, and dare I say it, being the big money recruit that we paid for a while back now. So yeah, what about you? How are you feeling? I know that I'm recording this pretty much straight after the game. It's the night of, so generally emotions can be at I guess a more panicked level than what they would be having slept on it. So let me know what you're thinking about the game. Let me know how you saw it. Let me know if you just think it was an anomaly, or is there a bit of an underlying issue there that you think we need to address pretty quickly. And let me know if you think changes need to be made. So we'll go from there. Stick together. Reality is reality, and we've got a lot of work to do. So we'll see how we go next week. See you for the player ratings video, and we'll go from there. Go the Mighty Blues.